Come out of the box.
Hello YouTube, cheers and welcome to The Basement. My name is Bruce Lively.
And I'm D-Boy Slim.
And The Basement is the first daily hip-hop debate show. From Tuesday through Friday, we tackle the most intriguing topics in hip-hop culture and the world around it. So welcome back, Basement family. And this is the second show of the day, so we're just gonna go straight on into it. Mike Vick. That's right. This dude says Colin Kaepernick should cut his fro if he wants to get a job in the NFL. That's it. Today's question. Is Mike Vick just ridiculous? Or does he have a valid point? With that being said, let go.
Come out to the box, boy.
We back.
We back. Second time today.
We told you we had a double header and we meant it. We kept our promise.
Phew, excuse me. Yes, we did.
We're gonna go off the grid a little bit, have a little fun. You know, usually we keep it strictly hip hop, but you know, this one was so intriguing. It's trending all over the place. Yeah, we had to touch on it a little bit from our perspective.
Well, Questlove might have something to say about this. This is hip hop.
And yeah. It is the comments that Mike Vick made on who was interviewing him?
It was Undisputed.
Was Charlemagne or was it?
No, it was Undisputed with Shannon
Skip.
Sharp and Skip Bayless.
So yeah. A lot was said, but I guess what everybody took from it was the part where he says if Kaepernick wants a job, he should cut his hair to change his image. And so
it's interesting.
A lot of black people, a lot of people in the community took offense to that. I'm along with everybody else's consensus in the fact that him changing his image, similar to when you got a haircut and changed your image, would be probably the only similarity. Like there are no parallels to where Michael Vick was at and where Kaepernick is at.
Right.
Kaepernick took a stance. And so what he believed in. Michael Vick was convicted of fighting dogs. And it was convicted and sentenced to prison. And still wanted to be able to work in the National Football League. So, in his case, changing an image to get you a job, at this point, it would make sense. That would be perfect logic because at that point, you're a convicted felon coming into a business which is mainly corporate and which is $1 billion business, and you know, changing your image benefits you in order to get that next opportunity. Kaepernick is a proven quarterback, having been to a Super Bowl, which is something Michael Vick never did. He's led a team to a Super Bowl, so if you know you're talking strictly skill-wise, we know that he has the ability and is capable of, you know, playing the position. And like I said, he took an unconventional stance.
Well, I mean, wait a minute.
Saying that he needs to change his haircut.
Well, wait a minute. I just want to say, if you say capable of playing the position 2 years ago as opposed to the last few years, there's two different things. Like, he hasn't had those type of stats. But go ahead.
He hasn't had those type of teams nor those type of coaches.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. That's for another debate. But what we do know about his ability, that it is good enough to play in the Super Bowl, play on a Super Bowl team. And so this is what we've seen. So
okay.
Like I said, I thought that Mike Vick he tried to draw, parallel and maybe give, insight or, I guess he thought he was dropping knowledge to the younger Kaepernick and telling him he needs to cut his hair, but it just perpetuates the stereotype, that we have, struggled years with in trying to eliminate. And that's, because your hair is a certain way, you're not capable of doing a certain job. And, these are stereotypes that we've fought hard over the years to try to eradicate and eliminate. And Michael Vick, he perpetuates them, and I guess he thought that he was helping or enlightening Kaepernick. But like I said, my consensus is that of Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. and the rest of the people who spoke on it at the sports channels and sports centers and Skip and Shannon's. That's just ridiculous. And
I think there's a disconnect. I agree. It's not about his hair. And if it was, who cares? It's his hair. It's his actual hair. We don't say that about white people. Hey, maybe you should cut your hair. We don't tell, Clay Matthews, that he should cut his hair. Because you're right. But what you were getting was advice from somebody who knows the people in charge.
The penal system.
Yes. Exactly. Now, he never said that you have to do this or you're wrong if you don't. What he said was he knows these owners, these old white people, and his exact words was, because of all the things that he's dealing with now, coming clean cut would simply be a way to get on a team on the NFL. He wasn't, I think we're taking it too far. He didn't advocate for anything. He said, if you want to play on a team, you're going to have to do this. Now, there's two things that we have to understand. You don't have to play NFL. You don't have to play the NFL. You can be an activist or a revolutionary. And all I'm saying is, let me finish. Vick wasn't the only person to make this, to point this out. Vick was just saying, from an old head who knows how these people are, as long as you have that hairstyle, how these people are, how these owners are. Exactly I'm going to explain that. I'm going to explain that. Break it down for me. Okay, well, these people, said by Skip Bayless, the only white person on the panel, said he's been covering these people his entire career. Mm-hmm. These old white owners. Mm-hmm. And the way that the rules and the regulations go, and the way that their power goes, they just have the right to do that. Vick never said whether it was wrong or right to do that. Mm-hmm. He's saying, unfortunately, if you want to be a part of this NFL,
just play the game.
You have to play the game. Oh. And Snoop Dogg said about the same subject, you cannot play the football game and be a revolutionary in this day and time because those same white owners happen to own it. That's all he's saying. Snoop Dogg also said it may be time for you to get back to playing football and let everybody else take it where you left off. Or leave football and be a complete revolutionary, because in this day and time you can't do both. None of these statements are bad within themselves. They are just facts being stated. Don't blame Michael Vick for stating the fact. The fact is, these owners that Skip Bayless was talking about as a white man own it. And so if you really want to get back on, Michael Vick also said in the statement today that he really wants to see him on the field.
Oh.
He really wants to see him on the field.
No doubt.
But guess what? You have the decision to make, Colin Kaepernick. You have the decision.
To cut his hair?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's unfortunate. I don't know how else to say that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just what it is. stating a fact doesn't mean that I agree with it. I'm telling you that is a fact.
Be a coon or
No. You don't have to. He said, just like Snoop Dogg said,
Snoop Dogg.
you made the stance. And
Dr.
now,
Dre and niggas with an attitude.
yes,
Okay.
they made a stance,
No doubt.
and they decided
They
whether
made
or
a
not
stance.
they made a stance.
Okay.
So that's what he's saying is, if you want to make a stance, you may have to stop playing football.
So
there's nothing
So
wrong
he made
with
the
that.
type of music he wanted to make, regardless of the consequences, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's what's up then.
And the consequence of making the stance that he made is not playing football. You can make that stance, and I applaud you if you do.
No, the stance he made was kneeling and not taking a stance for the anthem.
That was his stance. Unfortunately, all Vick is saying, you guys know this. All
The
Vick is
NFL is saying something in itself
Yes.
of these guys that you're talking about.
Yes.
Which further makes the stance probably even more correct to be made, because it lets you know that there's a problem in the NFL.
Yes.
That we should not just turn away from or just say, get our haircut if you want to play the game and get a check. It's a good thing that our forefathers and our people and the people before us, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's and those who stuck around for the movement and the struggle, didn't take those same stances. It's a good thing.
Once again,
Like I said, it perpetuates a stereotype that we try to get away from. Yes, we already know that they're racist owners because we were reminded by this with Donald Sterling inside of the NBA and the Danny Ferries that's inside of the Hawks organization that's been caught on audio making racist comments. Yes, we do know that they're racist owners. Yes, we do know that still exists. Does it make it right? Does it make it right?
I never said it's making right. So once again, as
a black man telling him he needs to go ahead
he didn't
and
say
cut
he
his
needs
hair.
to. He did not say he needs
That
to.
is what he
No,
said.
he did not. His exact words were, if you want to play in the NFL again, you may think about cutting your hair and going clean cut. That's what he said. And those are the facts. Those are just the facts. You want to know how we know they're the facts? Because he's not playing on an NFL team. It's not Michael Vick's fault. Michael Vick is telling him, if you want to play again, you might cut your hair. Because the white people that Skip Bayless knows will say that we need some sort of concession. Concessions have been made by a lot of people. Concessions have been made by a lot of people. Ask Martin Luther King when he went to go visit LBJ in the White House. And he decided which concessions to make and which concessions not to make for his people. I'm not saying that Colin Kaepernick needs to make that concession, and neither did Michael Vick. He's saying, if you want to play in the NFL, this is something that will work. And those are just facts. He didn't ask him to do it. He didn't tell him he needs to do it. He didn't tell him he was nothing if he didn't do it. He said, this is how it has to work. Snoop Dogg also said, if you want to be a revolutionary, my man, you're probably not going to be able to play in the NFL. That's just a fact that he stated.
If you want a job, then you better tap dance, boy. You better be Sambo.
So it's up to you to tap dance or not. Whether or not that statement is true is not up to debate. The statement is true.
Again, it perpetuates a stereotype. And for a black man to be telling
He didn't
another black
perpetuate
man-
the stereotype. He doesn't.
It came out of his
Kaepernick
mouth.
has no job.
The stereotype being, if you look a certain way, then whitey should be able to hire you. That is
Now,
the
he didn't
stereotype.
say should be able to. He said the facts are they are able to. That's what I'm saying. You're
like
putting,
I said,
you're putting conjecture on this
That's no
statement.
conjecture. That's what he said.
No, he said they will or will not.
That's what he said. So they should. then.
No, it's not should. Will or will not is not should or should not.
You want him to play, don't you? So you're saying that if you cut your hair, he might give you a job. That's what he's saying.
That's facts.
That's perpetuating the stereotype.
That's facts. That's facts.
Facts.
If you cut your hair,
Facts.
you might be able to get you a
You're
job.
perpetuating a stereotype.
They're perpetuating a stereotype.
That's not them. That's Vick. It came out Vick's mouth, not them.
Vick is stating the
That's
fact.
perpetuating.
That's not perpetuating. It's a fact. It's a fact.
There is no fact in that, because there's no guarantee that you get a job with the haircut. So it's not a fact. You're perpetuating a stereotype. Like I said.
My man,
Fact.
the fact is,
You can dress it up any way you want to.
Different people.
When it came out Vick's mouth, it didn't come out Whitey's mouth. It didn't come out no owner's mouth. It came out Vick's mouth. You're perpetuating. That's what the word means.
3 different people.
Saying if you get a haircut, the stereotype being if you get a haircut, you should be able to get a job. Will or will not.
He said, if you get a haircut, if you get
like I said,
cut,
you can dress it up and play semantics with the words however you like.
If you get
the fact that you're saying if you get a haircut is the perpetuation. That's what we're talking about.
That's just
if you get a haircut. Because I don't care if it's a fact or not. It's not right. Well, it's ridiculous for a black man to be saying it. So now that's what we're saying. Reality. It's ridiculous. That's the name of the subject. It's ridiculous for a black man to be telling a black man, perpetuating a stereotype of if you can get your haircut, if you dance Sambo, then you can get a job.
The other side
that's
of that,
perpetuating the stereotype.
That is, does he have a valid point?
Bottom line, that wasn't
point.
The question. Is it ridiculous?
Or does he have a valid point? Read the whole question for me, Mr. D-Boy Slim.
That is why you fail.
It's ridiculous.
Thank you.
There's no parallels.
It's not Mike Vick's fault that those are the facts.
Kaepernick did nothing wrong. So it's ridiculous.
He never said he did anything wrong.
The fact that you saying that you're admitting to that it could be factual is ridiculous. Is it not?
That's ridiculous. That fact is ridiculous.
Okay then.
Slavery is ridiculous.
So telling him if you just go ahead, so telling him if you just go chop that tree down, it'll be okay. That's ridiculous. Period.
No, what he said was if you get your hair cut, you can play in the NFL.
Period. He's telling them that that's okay if you just get your hair cut. It's ridiculous.
It would be more likely.
It makes sense why he didn't stand up for the anthem. It makes more sense. It's ridiculous.
So Michael Vick also said the hair had nothing to do with him playing in the NFL. Because Michael Vick, this is his exact quote, his hair had nothing to do with him playing or being on the NFL roster. Let's be clear. That's
now he wants to clean it up. It's easy for everybody to go ahead and clean it up when half the world jumps down your throat for perpetuating the stereotype, just like I said. It's easy to go ahead and clean your comments up. Oh, it's not about the hair now. Okay, make up your mind, Vick.
What he said, he was just telling a young man the same thing that Skip knows and the same thing that Snoop knows is that the people, if you want to keep playing the NFL,
Shannon said the same thing.
If you want to play in the NFL, this might be what you have to do. If you want to be a revolutionary, you have to be prepared to not play in the NFL. And I think that that's his outstanding choice.
If you want to be a coon, dance to the rhythm.
That's
what you're telling him.
No.
If you want to be a coon, dance to the rhythm.
I'm not saying that. And I'm saying it's an outstanding choice because he will not get a job.
Dance to the rhythm if you
I don't think he needs to. I think there's...
What is he cutting his hair for? He did nothing wrong.
Because it's owned by white racists.
So if it's racist, then what's ridiculous?
So the ridiculousness is that they're racist. And so you can either do that or not.
So tell him to continue to participate, is it? That's cool?
He didn't tell him to. He said this is how you can do it.
If you want to participate, this is how you do it, right?
Right. And then you say, hell no.
Y'all leave in the comments. Is he perpetuating a stereotype or not? Is it ridiculous or not for a black man to tell a black man if you want to participate in the ridiculousness, like my man Bruce just said it is, then just go ahead and cut your hair. Y'all leave in the comments, please.
The facts are he may not be able to play in the NFL again because I don't think he should cut his hair. I don't think he should cut his hair because it's a statement of who he is. It's his hair. He happens to be black. So when he grows his hair out, it turns into a fro. Guess what? That's what happens. On the other hand, if we don't recognize that the people who own this NFL are all old white racist people, and he may not be able to play again, and that's the consequence of taking that stand. And I think it's a damn good one that he took. So no, he may not be able to play in the NFL again. But if he wanted to, he may have to cut his hair. It's just a fact. I don't tell him to do that. All Vick did was tell him that fact.
Oftentimes you don't see us get this passionate, but this particular topic, it runs dear. Yes.
Better not cut his hair. Better not cut his hair.
For somebody like Vick who came in with the braids and the afro to be telling somebody else who's done nothing wrong illegally on the field or off the field to cut his hair.
He's done nothing wrong. Absolutely. The idea is
Give me a
ridiculous.
break. You kidding me?
It's not Vick. The idea is ridiculous.
Give me a break.
Vick just stated the ridiculous. This whole thing is ridiculous. Let that boy play, man.
Don't wear hoodies to the arena.
Oh, or else you get shot.
You kidding me? Y'all leave in the comments. Let us know what y'all think.
Leave in the comments. The basement.
You brought the fire out. You kidding me?
I like it.